Hi, everybody. Welcome to my channel. This is YouTube Can Be Great. Bless me, Father, for I have sinned, okay? Because after watching this Tasha K interview with Sam and Egypt, I had to go in and buy me some gummy bears. That shit was so juicy, oh my God. If you haven't watched it, go to, and I'm giving the plug, Tasha K's channel on Wine with Tasha K. She did a interview with multiple people. She talked about Safari, and she talked about a couple other people, the canon, but then she got to the part where she was interviewing Sam and Egypt, and she wanted us to get to know the couple, get to know what their history is, how they met, Sam's background in music that makes him qualified to be Egypt's everything. And while we're doing that, we found out some very juicy details. So it starts off with basically her asking Sam about where his music background comes from. He said that he had family who were performers, drummers, and that he just picked up the vocal part of it, and that he's very well into music, and that's his passion, right? He writes. Y'all know he said, now I know Egypt said that she's about to be Beyonce and Jay-Z status, which is some delusional shit, but she said it on the show Growing Up Hip Hop. And by the way, shout out to Just Ree for pointing me to this little interview. I appreciate it, girl, because now I'm talking about it. So we're sitting up there, and Sam gives us a background. Then they asked us, you know, how did you and Egypt meet? Like, how did you guys even get to know each other? How did you end up in a relationship? Because you guys don't seem to run in the same circles from basically what we're observing. And Sam says something like he was doing something in college. He was in college at 24 years old, and Egypt had to do something at the college, I think work out at the gym and stuff like that, and they met there while he was in school. And Egypt had just got out of a relationship at the time. Sam was basically hollering at his neighbor on the campus, and Sam wanted to make sure we knew that he was educated. He wanted to make sure that currently he tells us he makes 6 figures. And he wanted us to know that he's not basically some broke dude that's with Egypt, because it seems like the running theme is that this is just kind of like an immature relationship between them, and that it's not legit, and that he might be using her because he's not well off, and that he may have all this shit ton of kids, but he only has 2 kids with a baby mama. He's educated. He loves music. This is his passion. When he met Egypt, he was sincere about getting to know her. They just seem to vibe, like they mesh in a sense that they complement each other, and that he laid all his cards out on the table when he met Egypt, saying, this is my kid. How much money I have. This is how many kids I have. This is the baggage I come with, but I'm really interested in you, and so on and so forth. And Egypt stated that this is what made her really pursue him, because he didn't wait till she fell in love with him to now, you know, give her all the mess. He told her in the beginning. Sounds reasonable. Now, Sam said that people make the mistake saying that he's 22, probably because of the way that he behaves. He acts like a fucking child sometimes. But he's saying that he's 28 years old, and Egypt is younger than him from what I can perceive, especially by mind and by her attitude and by the way she carries herself. But he's saying that this is a mature relationship, and they've been together since 2017. And he came on the show and explained how they would film long clips about things, and somehow those clips, you know, with the reality TV show, they don't show you the whole clip. They only show you the part that make you feel like, you know, it's what the audience would want to see. You know, they cut and paste, like I said, when you do reality TV shows. And he's trying to say that those cut and paste basically gave us the perception that we had regarding him in Egypt. I said, okay, well, let me keep thinking about that while you're saying. Let me just try and swallow that and see what I saw. Maybe you have some point here. That's what I thought. Then he now went on to say that in that particular episode, the series finale, or no, it wasn't the finale, I think previous season, when he said something like, I think it was before the season where Brianna or Egypt hit Brianna, that he was performing. It was supposed to be, I think, their engagement party or some party or whatever. Brianna came there with some tea that she wanted to give Egypt, and Sam and everybody made a huge deal about it. And Sam was on the stage, and that was when he said, I'm not straight, but I'm not gay. When he sang that shit, I'm sitting there talking about what the hell is that supposed to mean? Are you fluid? Or the Q in LGBTQ? Like, what you're saying is very vague. What are you, considering the fact that you're dating a female, a natural born female? What exactly are you trying to let us know? But he did do that. And what ended up happening now in this interview is Sam is saying that he was given a choice. He was told that he had to give them something or he would lose his money and his bag that he was getting from being on the show, because he was with Egypt, and Egypt kind of plugged him into the growing up hip hop. That's just what it is. So he said he didn't want to lose his bag. So producers came to him and said, you got to give us a finale. Give us something. Otherwise, we're going to bring your baby mama here and your kids, because we know that your family don't like your baby mama. They'll probably jump her ass on TV and it'll help make a good show. So Sam decided that he didn't want to have that type of drama where he brought her on the show, so Egypt don't have to face her. Egypt don't have to deal with that mess. He's trying to build a whole relationship, and he wants to be part of Tresh and Pepper's family so bad. So instead, he chose to not let us know about his tryst with a transgender woman. Now, he describes this situation as, he said he was 21 years old, he was in Vegas, he was drunk, and he stated that he saw this woman, he thought she was beautiful, and he went out, he did what he was supposed to do. When their encounter, just like Jada Pinkett said, what word did she use when she was talking about it? Jada had her own word that she used when she cheated on Will Smith in that interview she did. It wasn't an encounter. What was the word she used, baby? Do you remember? Entanglement, yes. He had his encounter/entanglement with the transgender woman, where he was basically, because Tasha got all the tea, he was basically fucking her. And in between the process, while he was in it, he said he realized halfway in between, basically, that this transgender woman was naturally born a male. And I'm probably guessing that he realized it because he probably saw the pee-pee. But he said that he was already in between the process, and he was like, I can just blow up like everybody would normally do, because this woman had lied to me. She didn't tell me she was transgender. She made it seem like she was a natural born woman. I went out with her. I liked her personality and what she had inside, but now I'm fucking her, and now I realize that she got, a tabernacle or something. She got something with it. So do I run out of this situation and get mad like some heterosexual male would do? Or do I just take it as I am because I'm already in it and just finish the job? He said, should I just finish the job? I feel me? I was already in it. Might as well, complete the little entanglement and the encounter. So he said that he now wanted to use that story as a storyline on growing up hip hop, as opposed to bringing the baby mama into the mix, which is okay. It's his story. If it's real, it's real. It is what it is. But he also stated that he let Egypt know of this. The issue I had with this is Egypt almost seemed embarrassed to me when he was talking about it, because when Tasha was trying to say, okay, so are you bisexual? Are you what are you? Are you interested in men, women, or do you not care? Egypt, being that she's with him, displayed a little bit of discomfort in the way that she responded, because she tried to say something like, well, they're supposed to tell you, and she didn't tell him, so it is what it is, and then he told me about it already, and I accept him for who he is, so it's fine. And I'm just like, okay. But there was a lot of pattern that I saw between the two of them. When Sam didn't like something Egypt said, he would cut her off and then finish the sentence for her like he's thinking for her. And when Egypt didn't like something that Sam was saying, she was trying to protect him, she'll jump in and take over and try to control his words and not let him speak or answer the damn question. It's something that they did throughout the whole interview. But then karma hits at its finest, because karma's a bitch. Because y'all know that this past season of Growing Up Hip Hop, Dawn, Peppa's sister, and Maureen's sister, TT's mom's sister, came over there on the show and announced that she heard that TT's soon-to-be betrothed, Sean, has been cheating on TT, and that's the drama that she wanted to bring up the show the first time she shows her face and she starts this mess. And that little drama became like a point that was followed through the whole show. But here is Tasha sitting up here talking about, yo, this is a gossip channel. I'm here to give y'all the tea, and this tea was just so juicy because y'all have an OnlyFans page, which I tried to get my husband to do. He said, y'all, you gotta be fucked up. But anyway, she opened it. She said in the OnlyFans page, Sam's OnlyFans page that him and Egypt are running, which they introduced in this past season 6, the beginning, that's what they were doing. There's a transgender woman named Mia who also resides in Vegas, where Sam and Egypt are currently residing, who has now stated and showed text messages with receipts of conversations, and potentially saying that Sam had allegedly met up with her and also had an encounter, an entanglement with her without Egypt being present. Now, Sam trying to dance around it, saying something like what he and Egypt decide to do when if something that they decide to try, as if insinuating that they're allegedly maybe considering threesomes, who knows? But he's basically trying to put it as, this is something that she and I discussed, and she and I are okay with it. So then Tasha was like, you know, I did ask you if you were bisexual, if you were fully heterosexual, if you were, you know, what are you? Are you fluid, you know? And Sam was adamant about saying that he loves women, that women are what he loves, and that Egypt is the only woman he's been with since he's been in the relationship with her. And I know she asked that question because she wanted to clarify. If he said that he was fluid and he also said that they have an open relationship, then this tea wouldn't matter. But instead, he did confirm that he is a monogamous heterosexual relationship with Egypt. That's the impression that I was getting while watching the interview. So now to pull up this DMs by a woman named Mia, and the woman had photos of his alleged naked body, and not the ones that she pulled off her OnlyFans page, but new ones that he probably sent on his own. She had text messages but going back and forth saying that they met up in Vegas outside of Egypt's knowledge. And Tasha did go out of her way to now forward those messages to Egypt's DM, so Egypt can read it herself. Now, Sam got so defensive. Here's what I'm saying. If somebody accused me of cheating on my baby, and I know for damn sure I didn't do nothing, I'm gonna look at him like, baby, stop playing with me. Leave me alone with this bullshit. Go on somewhere with this shit. That's how I act. But if I was guilty, okay, I would sit up there and do everything in my power to try and get myself out this mess. And Sam went so far to say that he was allegedly going to talk to his lawyer because he don't want this interview to be aired, because he said this is another image that's going to cause everybody not to like him. I said, bruh, you just keep putting your foot in your mouth, because you just accused Titi Titi's man for cheating on her. That shit wasn't even true. But Tasha said that she don't post anything or talk about anything unless she got receipts that are confirmed. And your ass confirmed that that was your page. And Mia confirmed that you agreed to allegedly go and meet her without Egypt's presence. And then Egypt kept jumping out of the topic and trying to change it, talking about, instead of her acknowledging that possibly her man that she's supposed to marry may be cheating on her, she said, this man has been there for me when I couldn't, I had some vocal issues, and for 4 years they didn't want to air that. They kept thinking that he was using me, but I really couldn't sing. I said, bitch, that's not the question you asked. Answer the damn question. They were talking to your man who's been accused of infidelity, especially when he didn't sat up here in this interview and said that he is monogamous with you and he ain't touching nobody. And with his character and how much mess he caused between your family, child, it's only karma biting him in the ass. So he's now saying that he's going to go and call his lawyer and stop this interview from Arab child, but I don't know when he's going to stop it because I already saw it. And I cannot erase it from my mind. That was juicy. So Tasha now handled herself with poise. She's an interviewer, handled herself well, but it seems to be that I don't know if this is a topic that might go into the next season of Growing Up Hip Hop. It might be brought up. Hell, they might even bring the alleged me on the show. Who knows? But it has now been, and then the point of the conversation is it's not something that happened 4 years ago. Like, he stated that he was 21, and that was when he had his encounter with the transgender woman. This message between him and her was a month ago. So it was recent, and this interview just popped up today. So it kind of it sheds light on things. And the way that Egypt handled herself in this conversation, I do feel like there's a sense of manipulation there, because I don't know if she was trying to, save face and not embarrass herself, because now she got to figure out what her man is doing on OnlyFans page instead of just making that $3,500 a month that they said they were making. She got to figure out what other people that he's, attracting and who's he talking to. She tried to state that she's the one that controls the OnlyFans page, child, but you missed this conversation. So how much control do you have? Then Sam now said that he now leaves his cell phone open. He leaves everything open. He doesn't, she has access to everything. But he wasn't actually trying to address this particular incident. He just kept bringing up other imaginary incidents that he said that people have gone on his page, pretended to, stole pictures of his page, created Instagrams, and then go and tag him in it and said they were in a relationship for a long time. But this isn't one of those situations. It wasn't like somebody went and stole some photos off your page. This is facts. You have been communicating with a female you're probably attracted to who happens to be a transgender woman, but you're doing it, which is fine. I mean, you could do it whatever you want to do. If you know, if being with a transgender woman is not something that's, you know, a taboo or something like that. If your happiness is, that's where you find your happiness, you find your happiness. It doesn't matter. That's not the point I'm trying to make. The point I'm trying to make is, if you're claiming to be a heterosexual person, or at least a person, well, he said he was kind of fluid, basically fluid. He said he's just me. He doesn't have any labels, which is okay. But he did confirm that the only person he's been with this entire time in this relationship is Egypt, and he has not philandered or sought, you know, entanglements elsewhere. So to have this pop up, especially considering that y'all just, your girl just blamed her cousin's soon-to-be husband for cheating, it's almost like karma is hitting you in the ass, because now you're not, the tables are turned. Egypt, this proof, we have no proof about Sean, and the dates didn't match up when TT was confronting Pep's, you know, ignorant self. Now with this case, we got proof. And Tasha ain't finna come up here and embarrass herself on her channel. She made it this far for a reason. Child, I believe her. So, and Sam threatening to have a lawyer come and block this from being aired, it speaks volumes. It ain't that deep if you ain't do nothing. Okay? So, if y'all haven't watched the interview, you can watch it, but this is my commentary on it. Shit was bomb. Now, by the way, when you do watch the interview, or you want to get to this segment, it's about an hour in. Okay? Y'all have a good night. I'll see y'all tomorrow. Bye.